Hello, baseball fans. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bum Sports Network, and we are back with Game 4 of our 1978 World Series replay, Dodgers versus Yankees. And again, we are using the testing prototype of Glory Days Baseball. And basically, this is the final version of the game in terms of gameplay. The only thing that will be different is the final card design will be a little bit different than this, but same gameplay. So we will get started, and currently the Dodgers lead this 2-1, just as they did in real life. In Game 1, they defeated the Yankees 5-0 behind Tommy John. Game 2 was a narrow 3-2 victory, Catfish Hunter and Burt Hooton on the hill. And in Game 3, the Yankees came back to get one in the win column behind a 6-hit shutout by Ron Guidry. 5-0 on that one as well. So this is a rematch of Game 1, Tommy John versus Ed Figueroa. And for the Dodgers, the standard lineup pretty much. Davey Lopes leads off at second. Bill Russell bats second at short. Reggie Smith is third and right. Steve Garvey at first base bats cleanup. The Penguin, Ron Cey, at the hot corner bats fifth. Dusty Baker in left batting sixth. The designated hitter for this one is Rick Monday. Batting eighth in center field, Bill North, and behind the dish, Steve Yeager hits ninth. For the Yankees, curious decision to start Paul Blair in center over Mickey Rivers. And Blair in 1978 was absolutely atrocious against right-handed pitching, but nonetheless, going with as-played lineup. So Blair first, Roy White in left second, Thurman Munson catching and hitting third. Reggie Jackson's in the DH spot tonight, hitting fourth. Lou Piniella in right. Greg Nettles at the hot corner for the Yankees. Chris Chambliss at first. Fred Chicken Stanley at second base. And Bucky Effin Dent will be the shortstop. So we will get ready to go. And I actually did not type in Fred Stanley's ratings. So one moment, please, while I do that. Okay, and we are good to go. So the Yankees, they did get 9 hits against Tommy John in the opener of this, but unable to get a run across as he had some key double plays, 3 of them in Game 1. And the Yankees just could not string hits together. So Figueroa facing Davey Lopes. And 73, that will be contact off Lopes' card. 14 versus the right-hander, and that's going to be a single. And Lopes drives that into left field. So the Dodgers off to a quick start in this one. And Lopes is going to try and steal. Figueroa, he has a hold rating of 0, so Lopes has a jump of 5 and a successful steal of 8 if he gets a jump. If he does not get a jump, it goes to a 5. And Thurman Munson behind the dish has a -1 arm, so that makes his safe ratings 7 and 4. So they're going to go for it, try and create something early here, and Lopes does not get the jump at 4, and he's in there under the tag. He gets in despite a great throw by Munson. So Lopes down to second base with a stolen base. And Bill Russell up. 71, that will be contact off of Russell's card. And Figueroa's modifiers on contact, -2 versus left, -1 versus right. And 0-8 versus the right-hander. And Bill Russell, he is going a single +1. And he drives that into center field. So Lopes, that was hit hard. He had to hold up to see if it would be caught. But the Dodgers, runners on the corners, and things not looking good for Figueroa and the Yankees early here. Nobody out. Reggie Smith up. Smith a switch hitter, and 86, that'll be contact off of Figueroa's card. Hitting left-handed, 73, and that is a fly ball and a coach's choice. So on that, fly out coach's choice, runner on third, try and score. If not third out, other runners hold. So that fly ball, it went into left field, and in left field is Roy White, who has a 0 arm, and Lopes has a run rating of 7, so he's going to try and bring it home. Medium fly ball, White makes the catch. Here comes Lopes, here comes the throw to the plate, and he is in there safe. The Dodgers break on top 1-0 on the sacrifice fly by Reggie Smith. And he gets the RBI, so 1 down, runner on first base. Bill Russell has to hold. Steve Garvey up, and 67 will be contact off Figueroa's card, right-handed batter. 58, and that is going to be a fly ball into left field, and that's going to be shallow. Runner holds. So 2 consecutive outs by White in left, and that brings up Ron Say, 2 out, Russell on first. 55, it'll be contact off Figueroa's card as well. And 30, that's going to be a ground ball, and he hits that down to second base. Fred Chicken Stanley whips it over to Chambliss, and the inning is over. So the Dodgers do manage to scratch out a run on a couple of hits. And we head to the bottom of the first inning. It's 1-0 LA. And 81, contact, that's going to come off, and this is where his contact, Mickey Rivers would have had that off of his card, and it's going to be off John's instead. And again, don't know why he elected to start Paul Blair. It's going to be a pop out to second base. Yankees, as much difficulty as they had getting contact off of John the first time out. 0-3 against the right-hander. That's going to be a walk, however. And John does have a -2 to walks, but it's a 0-10 for White. So White draws a base on balls. The Yankees are in business. 1 down. Thurman Munson up. 74, and that'll be contact off of Tommy John's card. And 0-7, the right-handed batter. That's going to be a single +1 as Munson drives that into center field. So station to station. And unfortunately, a similar trend playing out. The Yankees getting runners in position, but John, a very good ground ball pitcher. Face Reggie Jackson now, 79, and contact off of John's card against the left-hander. 99, and that is going to be a potential wild result, but John, for his wild pitch rating, is only 1-4 and 11. So we replay the at-bat. Good save by Yeager, and 21, and that is going to be contact, and this will come off of Jackson's card. John is a -3 versus left-handers. 47, Jackson takes a big cut, and that is going to be a single +2 into right field. So the Yankees, they even it up as they get to John early here. Reggie Jackson, a single. Coming in to score Roy White, Thurman Munson over to third. And we are tied up at 1 down, runners at the corners for the Yanks. Sweet Lou Piniella up. And that is going to be an 11, and Piniella, that'll be contact off of his card. So the Yankees looking to do some damage here early in this one. 43, that's not going to be damaging, however. That's a ground out into a double play. And that's hit back to John, whips it back to Russell over to first. So once again, the Yankees squander on the 1-6-3 double play, an opportunity to really blow this open, but they do get a run across. So 2 hits and a run for them as well. We head to the top of the second, all tied at 1. And Dusty Baker up to face Figueroa. And 0-6, Baker, that'll be contact off of his card versus the right-hander. And 83, that's going to be a long fly ball into left field. Roy White puts that away, 1 down. Rick Monday steps up, and 32, Figueroa struck him out. So no contact on that. And again, we check for a walk and a strikeout first on the first roll. If that does not occur, and it is modified by the pitchers as well, We then check the contact rating of the batter versus right and left, modified by the pitcher, and that determines whose card we check. And there is a tutorial video on this that kind of goes through gameplay. If you have not seen that, first time watching this game in action. So 2 down, Bill North up, and 96, that's going to be contact. And versus the right-hander, and that was going to come off of North's card, just barely. And 16, and that's going to be a single, and North drives that into center field, so the Dodgers have their 3rd hit of the day. Bill North is on, and with 2 outs, he's going to try and steal as well. He gets a jump on a roll of 5 and is successful on a roll of 6 with a jump, 5 without. And again, -1 for Munson's arm. Gets a jump and 6, but Munson comes up throwing and just nips him at second base. So again, the adjustment for his arm makes that 6 of 5. So North caught stealing, and the Dodgers get a hit, but Munson ends a potential threat, and we go to the bottom of the 2nd. And we are tied up at 1. Greg Nuttles to face Tommy John. That's going to be contact off of John's card. Versus the left-hander, F54, that's going to be a pop-up, and circling under that is Steve Garvey, puts it away, 1 down. Chris Chambliss steps in, another left-hander. And 45, and Chambliss, that is going to be contact off of John's card. 76 versus the lefty, and that is a deep fly ball into center field. So North runs that down, 2 down. Fred Chicken Stanley up. 27, contact again off of John's card. And 52 pops him up as well, and circling under that again is Garvey. So Garvey, 2 putouts in this one in foul territory. The Yankees go down in order in the 2nd, and we head to the top of the 3rd, tied at 1. This World Series really was one of the greatest memories of my teen years. Remember watching these games every single night and watching Reggie Jackson's heroics. So definitely a no-brainer to replay this. 90, and Figueroa versus Yeager. That's going to be contact off of Figgy's card, and this will be a defensive result. 90 to 95. On the initial roll, you will check the result, or a defensive check on the final result. So 75 or 74, sorry, this will be a fly ball, and that's driven into left field. So into left field, Roy White has a range of 4 and an error rating of 1 and roll of 18. And it's going to be an error check, and 1 is within, that's what he had to roll to make an error, 1 or 0. So Roy White drops routine fly, batter safe, runners advance 1. So Yeager, E7 to start the 3rd inning, and the Dodgers can't give them these opportunities, especially with the top of the order coming up. This is going to be another defensive check. This will come off of Lope's card, contact. 42 versus the right-hander, and that's going to be a potential double play. Hit down to second base, but we again have to make the defensive check. So at second base, Fred Chicken Stanley, he has a range of 5 and an error rating of 1. And 3, it looks like, is going to be a range check. So infield ground ball, and 3 on the 1D20 is a range check, and 6, that is out of Stanley's range, so a double play turns into a single. So the Yankees defense lets them down twice here in the 3rd. Runners on 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Bill Russell up. 55, that'll be contact off Figueroa's card. Figueroa could use a double play here. 91, and that is going to be a fly out ++1. So that's driven deep into right field. Jackson or Piniella has to go all the way back to the wall and makes the catch. And that is going to be enough to get Yeager over to 3rd. So F9 and a sac fly. 1 down now. Runners at the corners for Reggie Smith. And here comes the pitch, and 39, and it gets a right-hander. And Smith batting left-handed, a -2 on the adjustment, just enough, and tips it, held on to by Munson, a big strikeout. So Ed Figueroa, and again the batter-pitcher interaction, just highlight that. Contact versus a right-hander, a 30-41 is a strikeout for Smith. Versus a left-hander, Figueroa is -2, which makes it 30-39, and he just got that in there. So a huge out for Figueroa and the Yankees. 2 down now, runners at the corners for Steve Garvey, and 44. That will be contact, and that will be off Garvey's card, and this could be trouble. These will all be unearned runs if they do score. 53, and that is a single +2 as Garvey drives that into left field. So coming in to score is Yeager, and again an unearned run. And Garvey with the RBI. The Dodgers, they take a 2-1 lead. And Figueroa should have been out of this inning and sitting back in the dugout, but now he has to face Ron Cey. This will be another defensive check off of Cey's card. 41 versus the right-hander, and that is going to be a single +2. And he drives that into left field. So again, the defensive check, 16. And outfield hit, it'll be an error check, and in left field. Holy crap, it's going to be Roy White again, and a 1 is going to be an error. Wild throw allows all runners to score. Batter advances 1 extra base. Wow. So things are falling apart here for the Yankees, and coming in to score is Lopes and Steve Garvey. And that will be a single RBI for Cey, as the other RBI will not be credited due to the throw. But again, all 3 runs in this inning thus far are unearned. And Figueroa victimized by the Yankees defense. 69, that's going to be contact off Figueroa's card versus the right-handed batter, and 26. And that is going to be a ground ball, and he hits that down to shortstop. Fred Stanley whips it over to first, and the inning is over. But damage is done. 3 runs on 3 hits and 2 huge errors. So the Dodgers, through 2.5, lead this one 4-1. Yankees coming up. Bucky Dent leads it off. 67, that's going to be contact off Tommy John's card. 64 against the right-hander, and that's going to be a fly ball into right field. So Bucky Dent goes the opposite way, and 1 down for the Yanks. So Tommy John had a little bit of a rough patch in the first inning. He has settled down now. 44 for Paul Blair. That's going to be contact off of John's card. 96, and it's going to be a hot line drive to second base, and Lopes spears that. So 2 down as Blair heads back to the dugout. Roy White steps in. Once again, contact, and once again off John's card. And against the left-hander this time, a 36. It's going to be a ground ball, and hits that down to Garvey, who gloves it himself, goes to the bag. Another 3-up, 3-down inning for John. And Yankees in trouble early in Game 4 of this series, trail at 4-1. Bill North set to face Ed Figueroa, and 18 is going to be contact. And versus a right-handed batter, or pitcher, I'm sorry, that's going to come off of North's card. He is good against right-handers. And 44, that's going to be a single into right field. I'm sorry, that's Monday, not North. And yeah, still no change to the result. Now it's Bill North. So Rick Monday with the lead. And 10 against the right-hander. He's going to draw base on balls. So first and second. And for the Yankees, it's a little bit of trouble here early on. They're going to get the bullpen going. And they're getting Don Gullett up to loosen up. early in this one, and they don't want to get any further behind. Steve Yeager's going to lay down a bunt. And again, on bunting, basically a simple 1d10 roll. If it's 0-4, it is successful. If not, it's a strike, and he then has to make a decision to hit away or try and bunt again and risk a strikeout, but he nails it. So Yeager gets the bunt down, and that goes to the pitcher, to the third baseman, Nettles. So over to third goes Monday, to second is North, 5-3 on the putout. And runners at second, third for Davey Lopes with only a single out, and the Dodgers on the verge of breaking this one wide open. Figueroa sets, kicks, delivers, contact off Lopes' card. This could be bad. Here comes the pitch, swings, and 47. And that is going to be a single into left field, +2. So both runners come in to score. And Figueroa is struggling. Did not have good stuff in this one. And after Russell, Yankees can change pitchers. 62 will be contact off Russell's card, and it looks like that will be happening. 93. And that is deep, and a 1, and versus right-hander. Figueroa takes the home run away as Piniella. His back to the wall makes the catch, but that's going to get, that will not get Lopes to second. He has to go back to first. So on that, 93 versus the right-hander, that is a deep shot off of Russell's card. What you do then is go to the pitcher's card and see their deep rating versus left and right. You see here versus right-handers, Ed Figueroa on a roll of 1-2, which this was, turns that into a fly ball plus, which would mean a runner on third would score if there were less than 2 outs. Not applicable here, so instead, just a long, loud out, and Figueroa steps in to face Reggie Smith, and 55 is going to be contact off of Smith's card. And 54, and pops him up, and a huge out, popped up to shortstop. So, Yankees again get out of the inning, but 2 more hits lead to 2 more runs, and the Dodgers lead this 6-1 going into the bottom of the 4th inning. That's going to be it for Figueroa. We'll close the books on him with 4 innings pitched. He gave up hits in every inning. He was not sharp at all today. Gave up a total of 8 hits, 6 runs, 3 of which were unearned due to terrible defense in the 3rd inning. He struck out 2 and ended up walking a single batter, did not give up a home run, thanks to a nice play by Piniella. And Don Gullett will come on when the Dodgers come up in the 5th. So Yankees really need to get something going here. Thurman Munson up 61 will be contact off John's card. And 24, and that is a rare single chance as Munson drives that into left field. So any hits off the pitcher's card are good hits and lucky hits. Reggie Jackson 0-4. And again, versus left-handers, no modifier to base on balls. So against a righty, left-hander, 0-4 is good. So Jackson draws the base on balls, trots down to first. Over to second goes Munson, and Lou Piniella steps up. Runners on first and second, nobody out. 0-1, he's going to draw a base on balls as well. And even though John is a -2 versus righties and Piniella 0-4, that makes it 0-2. So obviously 1 gets it done and the bases are loaded. So John, little moment of truth here in this one as the Yankees threaten to climb back into this. 42 versus the left-hander, and with the modifier, a swing and a miss. So a big strikeout of Greg Nettles, John's first of the game. Chris Chambliss, another left-hander up, and 0-2. And John, his 3rd walk of the inning, he's going to walk in a run. So that is walks to 3 of the last 4 batters, and that makes it 6-2. Fred Chicken Stanley up. Still only 1 out. Sacks loaded, 94. This will be a defensive check, regardless of the result, which will be contact off of John's card. And 18, and that is going to be a ground ball fielder's choice, and that's hit down to second base. So that would retire only the runner at second, and a run would score. But to the defensive chart, and 6, it looks like that will be a infield ground ball, will be a range play, and Lope's range is a 6, a roll is of 7, and unable to get to it. So single, runners advance 1 base, can attempt to advance 2, and they're going to play it safe station to station. So a big RBI by Fred Stanley. Bases are going to stay loaded as Lopes cannot get to that. 6-3 is the score. Bucky Dent's up, only 1 out still, and the Dodgers going to get some activity going down in their bullpen as well. And for the Dodgers, Doug Rauch, who is also a starting pitcher, is going to get up and loosen up. It's a World Series. You don't hold back here. 18. And Bucky Dent, that's going to be contact off of John's card. Looking for a double play to get out of this, a 93. And that is going to be a fly ball and driven deep to left field, ++1. So that is going to get Jackson in from third. And going over from second to third is Chris Chambliss. Fred Stanley holds at first base, and a long fly ball by Bucky Dent drives in the Yankees' 3rd run of the inning, and it is now 6-3 with 2 outs. I'm sorry, 6-4 with 2 outs. And Tommy John, he has a fatigue rating or stuff rating of 6. So if he gives up 6 runs, even if he hasn't faced his maximum number of batters, he has to come out. And Paul Blair, the right-handed batter, and God, why did Martin start him? 51 will be contact, and against a right-hander, no adjustment, so that is just in under his contact rating of 1-3. So Blair gets fortunate, and 00 is going to be an event. Wow. And it's in a 1. So runners on first and second, or first and third, multiple runners on, 0-1, and that is going to be a rare play, which will be here and in this column. So all kinds of interesting stuff happening in this one. 58. And 58, towering pop-up, and I'll let you read it here. Towering pop-up falls between third base, shortstop, and pitcher. Batter safe, runners advance 1, advance 2 if 2 outs. So, wow. Paul Blair, he's going to be credited with the single on that. And an RBI as Chris Chambliss comes in to score. And going all the way over to third base is Fred Stanley, as no one was covering third as they watched that drop. And 4 runs in for the Yankees. Seeing a little bit of everything in this one, which I'm glad that all the different things, defense and rare plays, etc., are being highlighted. So Doug Rauch, he is not going to come in yet. They're also going to get, and I actually didn't, Doug Rauch is ineligible. We'll just say that Charlie Huff got up because Doug Rauch does not have a relief rating. So disregard that. So Charlie Huff is ready to come in, and with Roy White coming up, White is a switch hitter, and he is actually better against righties than he is lefties, or better against lefties than he is righties, so they're going to go ahead and make the change. So Tommy John, not even close to as dominating as he was in the first game. He's only going to last 3 2/3 in this one, so both starting pitchers are done. And John gives up Well, he gives up 4 hits, but he had issues with wildness. A total of 4 walks in this one. Only 1 strikeout. And thus far, he is responsible for 5 runs and potentially more, but Charlie Huff will look to get the Dodgers out of this. So this one's shaping up to be a extremely wild one. And Huff will face Roy White, who will bat left-handed. 74, and that's going to be contact, and contact will come off of White's card as -3 versus left-handers makes, oh, never mind, puts that to, oh, no, never mind, it does. 1 to 6, so 3 is good. So contact off of White's card. And one thing you'll see when the new card design is unveiled, it makes finding the results a lot quicker, more intuitive, which watching the videos and everything through this was really needed, which led me to do that. So 31, and Roy White's not going to be able to tie the score, and that's going to be a ground ball down to Lopes. So the Yankees bat around and climb right back into this as they push across 4 big runs. And those 4 runs coming on only 3 hits. I'm sorry, John gave up 5 hits for the day and 5 runs, all earned. So we're heading to the top of the 5th, and Dodgers lead this in a wild one, 6-5. Both starters are done. Don Gullett now on the hill for the Yankees faces Reggie Smith, and southpaw kicks and delivers. 83, that's going to be contact. And against right-handers, Gullett has a -2, but it's still going to be off of Smith's card. And 79 versus right-hander, that's going to be a fly ball, and Smith drives that into center field. 1 down as Paul Blair puts that away. Steve Garvey up next. And 0-2, and that is going to be a walk versus right-handers, and Gullett is horrible control-wise. Adds 7 to the walk rating of right-handers. I'm sorry, that's Ron Say. I did not move a batter. Still will be a walk. So 1 down, and Dusty Baker up, Say on at first. Gullett kicks and delivers, and 62 is going to be contact. That'll come off of Gullett's card. Versus the right-hander, another 62, and that is going to be a fly ball and driven into center field. Coming in to take that is Blair, his second put out of the inning. 2 down, runner on first. Ron Say has to retreat. 74 will be contact off Gullett's card, and Rick Monday, lefty-lefty matchup here. 59, and it's going to be another fly ball driven into left off the end of the bat. Coming in hard is Roy White, and he plucks that off the turf. So the Dodgers, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left on the walk, and we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 6-5, Dodgers lead this in a must-win game for the Yanks. 46 for Charlie Huff, and versus right-handers, his strikeout modifier is 11, and Munson is 30-38, so that is a strikeout. Reggie Jackson steps in now. And versus right-hander, 77 and 8. That is going to be contact off of Jackson's card. 30, Jackson with a big swing and a hard ground ball down to second base. Lopes has that easily, however. Whips it over to first, and Garvey gloves it 2 down. Lou Piniella up. 23 will be contact off of Huff's card. And versus the right-hander, that's going to be a fly ball into left field. And circling under that is Dusty Baker. So things settle down here in the 5th. 3 up, 3 down go the Yanks. We're heading to the 6th inning. 6-5 Dodgers still lead this one. Gullett face north. And 11 versus the left-hander, and that is going to be contact. 9, that will come off of Gullett's card. Actually, sorry, that will come off of Bill North's card. So 95, and that is going to be a deep fly ball into center field. Going back is Blair, pulls it in. And North gave that a shock, but not deep enough as Steve Yeager steps in. Yeager reached on an error, a costly error by Roy White, later scored, had a sacrifice hit in the fourth. And 14, that'll be contact off Yeager's card against the left-hander. And it's going to be a single. He drives that into left field. So Yeager, the light-hitting Steve Yeager, he's gotten on base a couple of times today and produced for the Dodgers at the bottom of the order. Davey Lopes up. 57, that's going to be contact off of Bullett's card against the right-hander. 69, that's going to be a fly ball by Lopes, driven into left field. Coming in to take that is Roy White. And sure of glove this time. He's had some issues out there on left today. But 2 down for Bill Russell. 87, and that'll be contact off of Russell's card. 16, and ooh, almost a single. Instead of ground ball right back to the pitcher, and Gullett takes a hit away. Whips that over to Chambliss at first, and the Dodgers are gone. 1 hit. No runs, no errors, 1 man left, and heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, Greg Nettles set to face Charlie Huff, and Huff, he will face a total of 9 batters. He has 3. He'll give up 3 runs. So they're going to ride him out, and in the meantime, Terry Forster and Mike Garman. Garman is loosening up. Terry Forster is stretching, not ready to go yet. So 55, contact off of Huff's card. 49 versus the left-hander, and that is going to be a single as Nettles drives that one into right field. So the Yankees have their leadoff runner on here in the 6th. And Chris Chambliss up, another left-handed batter. 51, that's going to be contact off of Huff's card. And 80 versus the left-hander, and that is going to be a fly ball +1 driven into right field. Not going to get the runner on first to second, though. 1 down. And back to first goes Greg Nettles. Fred Chicken Stanley up. 37, and versus the right-hander, it's going to be a swing and a miss. So Huff strikes out Fred Stanley and brings up Bucky Dent. 75 will be contact off Huff's card. We have not had any park results yet. 34, righty-righty matchup, and it's going to be a ground ball down to second. Lopes takes care of that. So a hit for the Yankees, but they cannot do anything with it, and we're heading to the 7th inning. Still 6-5 Dodgers. And Huff is going to give way to Mike Garman when the Yankees come up again. Not going to let him get to his fatigue point. So he goes 2. You only get to face 1 batter anyway. He goes 2 1/3 innings. And stopped the bleeding at least. Only gave up a single hit. No runs, no walks. And struck out 2. So Garman's going to come on, and we'll look to get this to the 9th for Terry Forster, the closer, who now begins to limber up out there. Don Gullett still on the hill for the Yankees, and Reggie Smith steps in. 48, and this is going to be a versus the right-hander +6, and he is a 41, so just outside of his strikeout range. Smith, contact comes off of his card, and that's going to be a ground ball, hard ground ball to second base. Stanley makes a nice play to get to that, whips it over to Chambliss. 1 down. Steve Garvey up. 24 will be contact off Gullett's card. Versus the right-hander, 93 is going to be a deep fly ball, and what this means. So Gullett gave up an abundance of home runs, or more than average, to right-handed hitters. So whenever you get this result, F ++1 with a 3 or whatever number in parentheses, that means if the 1D20 is that or less, i.e. 3 or less, that becomes a home run, because Gullett has a tendency to give up a few more gopher balls to righties. 17 instead will just be a long fly out to center field. So I don't believe that has come up in the prototype gameplay before, so I wanted to point that out. 2 down, Ron Say steps up, and 90, that'll be a defensive check, and this will come off of Say's card. Versus the left-hander, and 98. And that is a hard line drive, and he rips that to second base. So on the defensive check, and at second base is Stanley again. 17 will be an error check, and he is a 1 for his error rating. That goes as an infield fly ball / line drive. So 17 and caught runner out, or batter out, sorry. If he had not made his error check, that would have been dropped and replay the at bat. So that turns into a L6. 3 up, 3 down go the Dodgers. And it's going to do it for Gullett. So we will head to the bottom of the 7th inning, and Don Gullett came in and pitched really well, actually. He went 3 innings, only gave up a single hit, walked 1, and had no strikeouts. So he did his job, and up to pitch the last 2 innings, back when closers did not get limited to 2 or 3 batters, will be Goose Gossage, as the Yankees need to win this one. So Goose is in the pen, loosening up. And we head to the bottom of the 7th. Garman on the hill now for the Dodgers. Facing the top of the order, Paul Blair. 21, that will be contact, and Garman is a right-hander, and again, Blair sucks against right-handers, so contact will come off Garman's card. 68, it's going to be a fly out to left field. I guess at this point I could have pinch hit Mickey Rivers, but I didn't. If we get to that point again, I will. 61 will be contact off of Garman's card again. Roy White batting left-handed. 67, that's a fly ball into center field, 2 down. Thurman Munson up. And Garman against right-handers, he is no modification either way on strikeouts or walks to right-handers. So 47 will be contact. And again, that will be off Garman's card. So Garman getting it done. 26 will be a ground ball down to shortstop. Russell over to first, and 3 up, 3 down to the Yanks. So things got crazy in the middle innings, but we're heading to the 8th. It is still 6-5 Dodgers. And it's setting up for Mr. October to come through with some late inning heroics again. And the Dodgers have a choice. Terry Forster can face a total of 8 batters. Gossage can face 9. They're not going to bring in Forster yet. So Gossage facing the Dodgers in the top of the 8th. And 13, Ron Say versus the right-hander, and Gossage adds 2 and just missed giving up a walk there. He is a -5 to contact against righties, so contact will come off of his card. Normally would have been off of Say's against most pitchers. That's going to be a fly ball into left field, 1 down. So again, you see the, and I'm sorry, that should have been Dusty Baker. It's the 2nd time I've done that. Does not change the result. So you're seeing a few instances with strikeouts and also there with contact, how the batter-pitcher interaction comes into play. 21 to Monday, that'll be contact off the Goose's card. Left-handed batter, 13, and that's going to be a ground ball down to second base. Fred Chicken Stanley has that, 2 away. Phil North up. North hitting left-handed against Gossage. And versus left-handers, a +11 to strikeouts, not going to get it done, but a -4 contact, which puts contact off Gossage's card instead of North's. 55, and that's a fly ball and into left field again. So 3 up, 3 down, and Gossage, he can face 6 batters in the 9th. Hopefully he won't need to. If he does, that's bad. So we are heading to the bottom of the 8th inning, 6-5. Dodgers up in this one. It's been a wild game. And Mr. October stepping up, 66. And that's going to be contact off Reggie's card. Versus the right-hander. Can he make magic happen? 78. And that is a deep drive, and that is gone. Ball game is tied. 78, and Reggie's deep range is 78 to 91. No adjustment for Garman. Mr. October comes through big for the Yankees. A solo shot to lead off the 8th inning, ties it at 6, and Yankee Stadium is going nuts. And Terry Forster now begins to loosen up quicker. Should they have brought him in? He is a left-handed pitcher, and just to, in this case, he would have been a -3 contact. It wouldn't have made a difference since a 1 was rolled, but always good to hypothesize there if I had done something different. 75 will be contact and versus right-handers, and -4 is going to put that off Garman's card. Garman very good against right-handed batters. So 54, and that's going to be a double, though, off Garman's card as Piniella drives that into center field. And Yankees threatening now. 2 big blasts to lead off the inning, and they're going to have to bring Forster in whether they wanted to or not. So Garman only able to go a inning. And that home run that he gave up to Jackson looms large. He gave up 3 hits, struck 1 out, or struck out 1, struck that 1. Didn't strike out anybody, never mind. So Forster, they're going to put the ball in his hands and see if he can get him out of it. Lefty-lefty matchup. Forster is a +11 to strikeouts, -3 to contact versus lefty, and +2 to walks. And that is going to come into play here as 4, and Nettle's going to draw base on balls. So first and second, still nobody out. Chris Chambliss up. And Yankees are going to go to the bench for a pinch hitter. Possibly. Jim Spencer. No. They're going to let Chambliss hit. Spencer's a left-handed batter, and he's horrible against lefties. 53 and a 5. So -3 contact is going to come off of Chambliss's card, +11. Makes that a 47. So Chambliss has a chance to keep this going here. 63. Oh, man. Pops him up. And that would have been a 23, and that would have been a ground ball fielder's choice anyway. So pop up to second base, and a huge out there, 1 down. Fred Stanley steps in. Stanley, 1 to 8 contact versus lefties, and 0 to 9. 0 to 7 there, and modifier versus right-handers is 2, which makes that 0 to 9. And Stanley has drawn a base on balls, and the sacks are loaded for guess who? Bucky Dent. The reason the Yankees got to this point in 1978, 1 down, bases loaded, score is tied. Bottom of the 8th inning, Forster gets the sign, delivers, and 37 against the right-hander, struck him out. Forster comes up huge. Huge. Back to the top of the order, Paul Blair is up. And Blair is actually okay against lefties, so we're not going to pinch hit for him. 2 outs, bases loaded, score tied. 30, struck him out. Paul Blair waves feebly at that, so Forster loads the bases up and then comes back to strike out the last 2 batters. But the Yankees get a couple of hits and a big run. And we are through 8 complete innings, and this ball game is tied at 6, and Forster, he's only going to be able to face 3 batters in the 9th, so he needs a 3 up, 3 down inning. This is turning into a great game here, and obviously running a little long, coming up on the 50-minute mark. We've had a lot going on. 97, that is going to be contact off Gossage's card, and that is going to be a ballpark adjustment here. So 44 against the right-hander, and that is going to be a normal single +2. So Yeager, of all people, Yeager is going to be the star of this game if the Dodgers win. And for singles on the ballpark adjustment, 1-19 is a single to left field. So Steve Yeager, he's now 2 for 3 with a run scored, and he has come up again big at the bottom of this order. He only hit 193 in 1978. That's how baseball goes. So Gossage now getting ready to face the meat grinder, which is the top of the Dodgers order. And versus right-handers, +2 to walks, and just misses doing that. Contact will be off Gossage's card. Thank God. 0-5, and that is going to be a ground ball +1. Hits that down to second base. So Yeager, only one play for Stanley, and that's the first. Yeager goes to second. So Dodgers go ahead, running scoring position. 1 out for Bill Russell. Gossage gets a sign. And 30-33, a roll of 40, +19 against righties. Struck him out. Gossage with the heat. Reggie Smith comes up. He will bat left-handed. 43, and again with the adjustment, struck him out. So Gossage gives up the leadoff single and comes back to retire the next 3. And we're heading to the bottom of the 9th inning, tied at 6. And Terry Forster, he has got 3 batters left, and he will be fatigued. So it's getting exciting. 93 will be a defensive check, and that will be off White's card. 97 and 97 against the left-hander, and that's going to be a triple for White, and is driven deep into right field. White coming around to third, and this could be the ball game right here in walk-off fashion. We're going to go to a defensive check. Right field for the Dodgers, Reggie Smith has a range of 4 and an error rating of 4. So here we go. We'll get the we'll bring the chart out here so you can see it. So here's outfield hit. 8, and 8 is going to be a range check. Late start on a drive to the gap if he doesn't make it, but a 1, and he is successful. So, wow, that could have been the game right there. So that'll be a normal result. Runners advance 1 or 2 depending on the hit type. But still a huge, huge blow for Roy White. He leads off the bottom of the 9th with a triple and the winning run 90 feet away, and the Yankees have 3 chances to get him in. Thurman Munson looking to be the hero here in the bottom of the 9th inning. This has turned into an instant classic. Reggie Jackson, living up to his moniker, tied it with a home run in the 8th. Thurman Munson a chance to win it. Here comes the pitch. 54, and against right-handers, +8, and that is going to be contact off of Munson's card. This could be it right here. The infield is in, and we do have an adjustment for that. 66, and that is going to be a pop-up. Oh, man, huge out. Pops him up, and taking care of that is Russell. Wow, that was huge. Huge, and Reggie Jackson, though. I don't know if it's huge when you bring Reggie up. 1 down, winning run at third, 46. And Reggie is going to strike out. No Mr. October here, so Forster on the verge of pitching out of this. Sweet Lou Piniella, 30, and Forster again. Whoa, hold it. So actually Forster... Actually, this would be the batter he gets fatigued on, and 30 is a clean strikeout off Pinella's card. So Forster, a leadoff triple in the 9th, and then gets a pop-up and 2 strikeouts to get the Dodgers out of it. We're going extras in this one, tied at 6, folks. Wow. Forster, however, is going to be out of gas. Now, the adjustment, if he was to stay in the game, would be a +3 to his contact adjustments, which would make him even versus lefties, and +1 to righties. +3 to walks, which would be +5 on each modifier, and -3 to strikeouts, which would move his strikeout modifier to +8 and +5. So they're not going to want to deal with that. Going to the bullpen, the Dodgers. It is going to be Lance Routsman. So Routsman comes in, and for Forster, that was a wild ride, to say the least. So Forster goes 2 innings and gives up a single hit, walks 2, and strikes out 4. And every single one of those strikeouts was huge. So Routsman will be the 5th Dodgers pitcher. And for the Yanks, Gossage, he can face 9 batters. He has faced a total of 7. So they're going to let him come back out for the top of the 10th inning. Steve Garvey, 27 and 6. That is going to be contact off Garvey's card. So this could be a bad thing. 87, and Garvey, he drives out one deep and driven into right field. Going back is Piniella, makes the catch. So Garvey gave that a jolt, but Piniella hauls it in. 1 down for Roncey, and Gossage will be fatigued after this. 36, swing and a miss, struck him out. So Gossage, it's his 3rd strikeout. So for the Yankees, Sparky Lyle is in the pen. They're going to let Gossage pitch to Dusty Baker fatigued, which hopefully will not come back to bite him, and Sparky Lyle will be in if we go beyond this. So Gossage, his contact modifiers will be -1 and -2 now, respectively, left and right. 13, and against the right-handed batter, +5 on the walk modifier makes it a 9, so still not good enough. 8 and -2, so that. The fatigue comes into play. That would have been off Gossage's card if he was fresh. Instead, it comes off of Baker's card, and Baker, he drives a double into left field down the line. So Dusty Baker comes through, and again, pitcher-catcher interaction and fatigue coming into play, so that's going to do it for Gossage. He has a long stint for him, 2 2/3 innings. Gives up 2 hits, no runs as of yet. He did not walk anybody, struck out 3. So Sparky Lyle, and Lyle really did not have a very good 1978. So he is only -1 contact modifiers against lefties and righties, and Monday is a lefty. And Dodgers are going to check out the bench now. Monday is a designated hitter. And Manny Mota, who is a slayer against right-handed pitching, is going to come on to pinch hit for Monday. 1-14 contact versus righties. So Mota comes on, and he will actually stay in the designated hitter role. This is huge, folks. Lyle has a sign. Here comes the pitch. And 56, and that is going to be contact off Mota's card, of course. And Mota puts this one into play, and that's a single +1 as he drives that into center field, and not going to get... actually, single +1 with 2 outs, it becomes a coach's choice. So in center field, Paul Blair is a -1, and running, Dusty Baker is a 6, 1-5 to give the Dodgers the lead. Tom Lasorda is aggressive. They're going to do it, so here we go. Here comes a throw. Blair picks it up, fires it home, and gunned down at the plate. So Dusty Baker tries to stretch that into the go-ahead run, and he is thrown out 8-2, and that is the inning. So 2 hits, no runs. We're heading to the bottom of the 10th inning, and probably should have played that safe, but did not. So Routsman now out to face Nettles. Routsman, a left-hander. Nettles, he is 1 for 3 on the day. He is singled, struck out, and walked. Routsman is 0-2, and that's going to be yet another walk. So Nettles and the Yankees have a leadoff runner here in the 10th inning. Chris Chambliss up. Double zeros, and that is going to be a second walk for Routsman. So Routsman, and this is it. The Dodgers have nobody else, and Fred Chicken Stanley, he has a bunt rating here of 7, and he's going to try and lay this down. So here we go. And he bunts that toward third base, and 1. That is successful. So 5-3 on the putout, and sacrifice hit. Second and third now, the Yankees have the winning runs. On third base, 90 feet away for Bucky F. and Dent. Can he be the hero? 95, and that is going to be a defensive check no matter what the result. So 7, and Routsman against right-handers is a -1, and that is going to be off Dent's card. This bodes well for the Yankees. This could be the ball game, folks. And 10, and Bucky Dent has single, drives that into left field, just past a diving save. No need to do the defensive check. Ball game is over. Wow, so Bucky Dent, the hero once again, a game-winning single in the bottom of the 10th inning. The Yankees storm back from a 6-1 deficit to tie this up late on Reggie Jackson's 8th inning home run, go on to win it in the 10th. 7-6, what a ball game. So this one definitely lived up to the hype here. Let's get the final numbers tallied. So Sparky Lyle gets the win for a rather feeble 1/3 of an inning of work, in which he gave up a hit. But trying to stretch that or score from second base, Dusty Baker was gunned down by Paul Blair. So leaving Blair in the game paid dividends due to his defensive prowess. Routsman pitches a third of an inning. Gives up a hit, a run, 2 walks, no strikeouts, and he's going to be tagged with the loss. So for the Dodgers, 6 runs on 12 hits, no errors. The Yankees, 7 run on 10 hits and 2 errors, both very costly back in the 3rd inning. But the Dodgers pitching, very wild, gave up a total of 6 walks in this one. And that really turned out to be the difference. Yeah, I'm sorry, not 6, 8 walks in this one. So that was definitely the difference in this ball game. And in actual testing, I think that is the highest walk total I've had thus far. So glad that that came up, as shows a little bit of variety, which I was hoping for. I was actually worried for a little bit that walks, I might have to recalculate the way I figured those on the cards, but this turned out, and as I get into more testing too with different pitchers on the mound, some that walk more than the average, I think this is kind of evened out. So happy with those results. I'm happy really with the results of the gameplay overall, and this was definitely a great game here. 7-6, 10-inning win. So the World Series, 1978 series, tied at 2 games apiece, just like it was at this point in real life. MVP of today's game, it probably would have been Steve Yeager if the Dodgers had won. For the Yankees, you could go Reggie. Reggie was 2 for 4 on the day. Had 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and a big game-tying home run. Bucky Dent had the winning single, didn't really do much else. Yeah, Yankees offensively kind of scattered, so I think we'll go with Reggie Jackson. 2 hits and a walk, big home run, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He is our player of the game. So we will be back with Game 5 of this one, and all tied up at 2. And again, this is a prototype of Glory Days baseball. The game flow, game engine is complete. The only thing that will change will be a new design of the cards that will make them more intuitive and speed the game up a little bit, which again, I'll unveil down the road at a later point in time. So hope you enjoyed this. Definitely a fun game to roll. If you like the video, please hit thumbs up. Leave comments, suggestions, thoughts on the game. And if any other teams you might like to see down the future, I can't promise, but any other like 1978 matchups, I'm also going to rate the 1986 season. So any matchups out of there, I know I've had a request for the 86 World Series. But again, also support our friends of the channel and appreciate the support that we get here at Bleacher Bums Gaming. So until next time, keep swinging for the fences. We'll see you. Have a good night, everyone.